The next question on the retake review corresponds to question 24 on the Unit 2 review worksheet, which is also lesson 2, example 2 in your notes. So for the problem 24, I'm going to go through the process to factor something completely. So completely means that I'm probably going to have to factor in more than one way or more than one time. So the first thing that you should always check with factoring is, do they have a greatest common factor? So is there a number or a variable that goes into every term? So as I look at these numbers, 5, 18, and 9, there's no common factor between 5 and those other two numbers. So that means that I can't factor out a number, but they each have an x, so I can factor out an x. And so if I factor out an x, I'm left with 5x squared plus 18x plus 9, because factoring out a variable just brings down each power by 1. So now I'm left with something that's quadratic. So I know that if I have a quadratic trinomial like this, I'm still going to have x as a factor, but I'm also going to have two binomial factors. So I'm using the product sum strategies to get these two factors. So I'm going to kind of work with them simultaneously. So if I'm doing a product sum chart or a star, I'm still doing the same work, it's just organized differently. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and again, I'm kind of ignoring this now, I've already factored that. I'm looking at my A times my C. So my A is 5 and my C is 9. And so 5 times 9 is 45. So I'm looking for numbers that are factors of 45. So if I think about that list, that's 1 and 45. 2 doesn't go into 45. 3 goes in 15 times, and then the 5 times 9 that we used is the other set of factors. And I want those two numbers to multiply to B, which is 18. Okay, so I'm identifying which two of these add to 18. So if I look at 1 plus 45, that's 46. So that doesn't work. 3 plus 15 is 18. So that means that these are my values that I'm going to use in my factorization. So I've got 3 and 15. If I'm using a product sum chart, right, that's going to be here. I'm going to write plus 3 and plus 15. Since A is not 1, these aren't just going to be x's. So since A was 5, these are each going to be 5 x's. And I'm going to have to simplify one of them. So when I look at my two numbers, I have 5 with 3, and that I can't simplify. So that's going to be one of my factors, 5x plus 3. And then for the other factor, I have 5 and 15. And so I can divide both of those numbers by 5. So that's going to give me a 1x and a 3. So my second factor is going to be x plus 3 for that trinomial. And so that means that my full factorization is x times 5x plus 3 times x plus 3.